Hey everybody. So today I was planning to make sort of a ranting video, and unfortunately we had to put my 15-year-old cat down this morning. So I have changed my plans on what I wanted to do, and today I would like to do some Reiki for grieving the loss of a pet, because as we know, they're our family, and that's a certain kind of pain that you go through when you're grieving the loss of a pet, especially when we have to make the choice and they don't necessarily make it for us. So I've got some different kind of sage today. So we're going to start with this. So if you're in need of some Reiki or grieving the loss of a pet, all I need from you is just to consent to the Reiki. So you can say, I consent to this Reiki session, or I accept this healing for my highest and greatest good, whatever works for you. And just try to sit back and relax. I'm going to pull some cards as I usually do, just to kind of guide the Reiki session a little further. And if you hear my daughter, she's there. She's feeling the emotions of it too. My kids have really been feeling it. So even though they weren't there with us this morning. So the first one I pulled was the animal spirit guide. We have the hawk spirit. So let spirit be your guide. Hawks are also about having perspective, a higher perspective on things. Like I talk about with your higher self, is the one that's always giving you guidance from above. Let's see, this one on it. Got two of them that popped out here. Here we have the hanged man. He's doing a yoga pose on the beach. I like this. This is a new deck for me. And then we have, this is very fitting, the death card, and we've got horses. Look at this person. They've got like a tornado, but it's like a tornado of light, and it's sprinkling down on him, and he's in the middle of all these horses. So I'm going to see what the whole picture is when I get all the cards pulled. Okay, we have walking away. Okay, interesting. And this one just jumped right out. We also have temperance. So we have a thunderstorm, and then we have sun on this side. Again, he's got light in between his hands and going across here. So the picture that this is painting for me is to keep that higher perspective even when you're grieving. And if you tune into your intuition, to your higher self, and do your meditation and that kind of thing, that's what's going to carry you through the dark and the light. And you can be equally just as balanced in the dark times as the light. That is not to dismiss the pain. The pain is still a very real thing and a very real part of the process. But you can still have pain and be tuned in and tapped into your higher self, into the kind of spirit world, whatever you want to call it. The hangman is often depicting like kind of a different perspective, your life turning upside down. And then the death card here, he's seeing it as a very peaceful thing. So in my head, when we were putting my cat down, I was kind of hearing my intuition, like, it's sort of like, why are you sad? Like, this is a very happy thing. It depends on what you believe about animals, but they say they go over the rainbow bridge. And I liked that image of my cat being in peace and no longer being in pain, and frolicking around like he was a little kitten, and being not of this world anymore, and not having those attachments. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to decide what I think about this, the walking away. Okay, so she's closing a door. So what I'm getting there is, I always talk about reframing things. So in another way, my intuition was speaking to me today, was that the passing of our beloved cat was sort of closing of another door. It was letting go of another attachment. So here's the thing: when you want to embody a new identity, you have to be unafraid of letting go of all of the old. And there can be pain. It is a painful process. It's a shedding, but it's what's required of you to go to that next level, to take yourself to the next step, to embody that new identity. You have to let go of the old. And it can be in a variety of forms, one of which could be walking away from friendships, because you're becoming a new person. And so you're going to have new friendships. Those older friendships maybe don't serve your newer identity, your higher vibration. Not to say that there was anything wrong with those friendships, because they serve a purpose and they all have their time in our lives. And so they can be valued for what they were at the time, but we need to let go and not be afraid and hold on to things so much. Because here's the other thing. When it comes to death, we have a very skewed perception of what death is, especially here in America. We see it as such a sad thing. And really, if we only knew how joyous it really was and going to that next world, we wouldn't be afraid and we wouldn't be sad. And so that's why I felt like our cat was like, why are you crying? Like, I'm so happy. I'm free. You're not stuck in that body anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Reiki session started. I got this new fan. And I really like it. It's got crystals on it. And it's really good for cleansing. Some of the stuff, it may seem a little bit silly, right? Like some of these, how can these movements or these things do anything? But the interesting thing about spirituality and, your soul and us being energy beings, I've said this before, everything is really a metaphor. So the things that are symbolic actually they're rooted in real things. Like, a lot of the things that we do that they seem symbolic, but it carries over, the metaphor sort of carries over into the next world. So just that's something to be mindful of. My daughter is deciding to be very chatty today. She's really helped me with my grieving of our cat. The other thing that was interesting was every time we had to put our cat in the crate to take him to the vet, she was very concerned. Like, she seemed really concerned for him. And I think that he was scared every time we had to keep bringing him back to the vet. That was another reason for our decision to let him, pass away with some dignity and some peace. Because every single day we had to just constantly keep bringing him to the vet because of all of his health problems. And he was feeling scared every time. And that was a lot. That's, fear and stress, that does a lot to your health. So it was something to take into consideration. But it's interesting that at such a young age, they can pick up on that. So try to take some deep breaths. Try to relax. Wherever your happy place is, if it's on the beach, you can hear the crashing of the waves, laying in the sand, feeling heavy. Sand is supporting you, supporting your body. It's absorbing all the pain and the hurt and the grieving. Just let it all go, wash away. This is a really heart-centered Reiki session today. So you can either put your hands around yourself, give yourself a hug, or put your hands on your heart. Take some deep breaths. This is a season of life that can feel so painful. It's painful for us, it's not painful for our pets. So that's something to remember. And animals are here to teach us a lot of things. And they're here for a short amount of time. They're here for just a season, and they're teaching us about the impermanence of life. And animals are often very unmoved by outward circumstances, It's like you can snap at your animal and get annoyed with them, and they'll still come over and give you love, and that unconditional love. And they're very present and in the moment, and that's a very powerful thing. Sending healing to your heart. They say it takes time, and that's true, but don't be afraid also to feel it. The more that you feel it, it's like with anything. The more you have resistance about something, the more it keeps it around, So cry as much as you need to. I have cried my eyes out today and yesterday. And that's healthy. It's a good thing. You want to, if you're trying to run away from it, it's just going to keep coming back to you, and it's just going to prolong it. So it's really, for some reason, we have this negative view of, those lower emotional states like grief, but we don't need to. It's all a part of the process. There isn't like a better emotion and a worse emotion. Even though we use an emotional scale, that's just sort of our human way of looking at it, but it's all part of it. So the more you kind of realize that that all emotions are valid, and that there aren't like good emotions and bad emotions, like the easier your life becomes, because then you can just sort of go with the flow more. And that, a lot of that's just conditioning. So, as you meditate and work on different spiritual practices and kind of go along this journey, you'll have a more detached view of emotions. And so it won't be so like end of the world when you're feeling sadness or feeling anxiety. It'll just be part of the process. And honestly, that's a great way to go through life, because you enjoy life a lot more. If you're running away from the emotions all the time, that comes back to bite you, because then you're running away from life. When you're running away from your emotions, you're running away from life, because life is ups and downs. Put your hand on your heart. Sending you love and peace. Let the Reiki wash over you. Let it wash away the hurt. Send you more healing. Kind of fill that hole in your heart. And I'll send you Reiki that you can maintain that higher perspective, that your animal is happy. Your animal's happy where they are. And it sucks for us on this side of it, but they're doing well. And they're always around you. They can come visit you whenever they want. That's another cool thing, is like the more you go down this spiritual path, the more you tune in to different energies, and you can tune into the energies of the animals. Like I did Reiki on our cat a bunch before his passing, and I was kind of like looking for some sort of sign. And actually I could feel physically in his body what he was feeling. And that's part of how I knew like it was time. And it was interesting because when we took him to the vet, all the things that I was feeling were dead on. So that's another reminder to just trust whatever you're receiving. And if you feel like your animal's near you, your animal's near you. You get to decide. You don't go looking to other people for answers. I did that a lot earlier on in my spiritual journey. I would go to visit a lot of psychics and mediums, and then I realized like I could just do this myself. And it's actually better that way, because you know yourself better than anyone else. And when you're going to someone like that, all they're doing is picking up on your current energy like in that moment. So that can be helpful, but know that if they tell you something that you don't really like, it doesn't have to be that way. You get to decide, and you can change things. They're just seeing one of many probabilities, and they're basing it off of what your energy is in the moment of the reading. Not that they're inaccurate, they're very accurate. It's just that we have the free will and the ability to change things. Take another deep breath. You might feel something right here. It's just me sending you some love. You got this. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I know it sucks. I'm right there with you. Been through it multiple times. I'm here again. You can come back here and listen to this as much as you need to. By the way, I send Reiki through the whole, even while I'm talking, I'm sending Reiki to you through the entire video, okay? It's an intention. It starts with an intention, and I started that long before I started filming. Okay. One more. guys. I'm going to seal this Reiki healing and ask that it be continuous. So you feel it over the coming days and weeks. Ooh, it's very strong. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and my heart is with you, and I'm sending you continuous Reiki. So I hope this helped you. If it did, please drop a comment below. I'd love to connect with you. All right, thanks everybody. Like and subscribe. I'm out.